Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to build a new project from scratch. It's a fitness program generator. You enter some information like your height, weight, age, etc. and the app will generate a full fitness program designed for you. The program includes a general overview, a workout plan and a diet plan. Each program is saved to a database and can be publicly shared using a unique URL. So just save your program URL and access it anytime you want. As you can see on my phone, the UI is responsive, clean and simple. Technologies that we're going to use are Nextjs 13 with the app router, Tailwind CSS as a CSS framework, Shadcn for styled components, Lottie for animations, Prisma as a ORM, and Mongodb as a database. You can view the live demo of the app at bestshape.fit. It's 100% free, so try it and tell me what do you think about the app in a comment below. The project is open source. I will link the GitHub repo in the description. That was a short introduction of what we're going to build, and now let's move to VS Code. Hello again, so here is the project guys. You can find it in the GitHub repo that you'll find below this video in the description, so just clone the repo and work with me on the project. So as you can see, the project has many folders. The first one is animations, which is basically just some data for the animations that you see on the application. So let me just start the dev server, which is apparently already running. So let me just open localhost 3000 and show you guys those animations and how can you work with those animations. Alright, let's just click next, and here is the animations that I'm talking about, guys. As you can see, those beautiful animated emojis that you can use on your project. Basically, to use those you need to go to lottiefiles.com. I will link this URL in the description as well. Just search for any animation you want, for example fire or anything. Make sure to choose free here, and after that guys, when you download the animation, it will be downloaded in a JSON format, so just copy and paste it in your animation folder. That's it, what I did here. I just created some animation that I will use in the project and for organization. Okay, now let's move to our app router. As you can see, I have this start and a program, an about page and a default home page. We're gonna start with that. Let me just open again my localhost 3000 to show you the home page. It's a very basic hero section with a title, a description and the call to action button. When you click it, you will be redirected to /start page. So to create this page, what I did, as you can see here, is a basic, very basic hero section with an h1 tag with some styling in CSS. Same thing for the description that I generated from ChatGPT, and the button from Shadcn component library with the text start now, and the result is very awesome. As you can see guys, where is my dev server? So as you can see guys, it's responsive, clean and beautiful. Now let's move to the main thing about the project, which is this form here. I have two page form with this step bar that you can see here. When you click next, you can go back at any time you want to the previous form or go next with some animations, as you can see from left and right. So to handle this form with the data, it is important to handle also the data. So for example, if I type something and click next, and by accident I want to change something and click previous, the data should be saved here in the memory. So to handle that, I used basically a context. So a context is a hook from React that we're gonna use. It's create context and also a provider that will wrap our app, and we're gonna call it in our layout later. So what I did here, as you can see, just create some initial state for our context, created the context, and here I created the provider. Just basic stuff. Anyone that knows React already knows those stuff. You need to create a reducer that will handle the object. So with the steps and a dispatch function, reducer function that have some actions here, like the next step. For example, when I click on the next step, this action type is called. Same thing for the previous step, or when the step is changed, or when I want to block the next button. For example, in the first step here, I want the next button to be blocked until the user has choose or answer this question here. So as you can see, I can't click on the next button because it's blocked, but when the user answer, it will be unblocked and the user can click on next button. So I added also some another actions here. So just read the code, guys, from the GitHub, and you'll understand everything. It's well organized with comments and pretty easy to understand. And for the steps provider, you just need to return steps context.provider with those values from my context, which we're gonna use on our components later. And finally, I exported both the steps context and the steps provider. Now let's use our provider in our layout. So I just imported the steps provider here in my layout.tsx file, and just wrap it in my entire application, as you can see, guys, along with the nav bar and the children's. To handle all my steps, I created this steps.ts file, which will have some informations about the form, for example, like an ID, an icon, the title, the description, all the stuff that you can see here in the form. All the data are handled here in the steps. For example, the answers also are stored here, the default ones that will be used in our database. So this is an important file as well. I also created this types.ts file, which has some TypeScript types. And finally, for the components, I created a form component here. For example, for the name, it's just a label from Shadcn along with input from Shadcn with some stylings, and the results, as you can see, is this. After the user has entered all the information that we need, we should do this simple loader. So the data are sent to the database using Prisma, and then it will generate this fitness program with a general overview and those beautiful components, a workout plan, and finally a diet plan. So what I did here, guys, let me open VS Code again and show you. So you should initialize first your Prisma and add your env file. In your env file, your database URL. So you're gonna find this in your MongoDB Atlas. So if you are using MongoDB Atlas, just copy the link from there and paste it here. Alright, so in our app I created this API folder that will basically handle my data in the backend. So when the users finished and submit the form, data is sent to the backend and then saved to the database using Prisma. It's just basic crude application. And now for the program page, I created a dynamic page called slug, which will contain the ID of the generated program. And using the React server components, you can create a new Prisma client and get from the database our program using the ID that was provided in the URL. For the components that I used in the program, it's just basic. As you can see, it's an overview. We have the workout and we have the diet and we have the share box. It's just a basic box that contains the link to the current program, which when you can click on copy link and just the link will be copied, as you can see. And for the overview, it's very simple components that I used here. Nothing fancy, nothing special, just some stylings. But the important thing is the calculations that I did here. For example, to calculate the ideal weight, the body composition recommendation, and all those steps were calculated using some math equations that I find online. Let me show you those calculations. So I created a utils directory and inside of it a calculator. For example, to calculate the composition, I found those math equations to calculate the ideal composition for the body based on the age, the height, and some other variables. So as you can see, guys, the project is very basic and very simple. Just clone the GitHub repo for the entire code source, read it, and if you find any bug, you can send me a pull request. I will really appreciate it, guys. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.